Good morning, good night, good afternoon, you beautiful patriots, you. Everybody's chilling out on a Thursday, and tomorrow is TGIF. Thank God. Thank God. And I'm just so happy you guys are listening, you're sharing, you're subbing, you're subscribing. I appreciate it, man. Us little voices here, we try our best. We try our best. And let me just say, socialism, Marxism, all that stuff, it's already here. All right. So if you're indoctrinated in it, you're gonna be totally against me. If you're aloof to it, you probably don't even know it's happening right in front of your face. And for 50, 60 years, since 1955, 58, they knew they were coming at us. Basically not using, let's just say they're going to use race, gender. They knew to get to our schools. They knew they couldn't take us down, as far as the patriotic, uh, symbiotic, the United States of America. They weren't going to, not coming out of World War II. No way. Japanese came over, bombed Pearl Harbor, and boots on the ground over. After FDR said we're not going to get involved with World War II. Soon as they hit, and that's another, do your research on, did we know if Japanese was going to do it preemptively? All right. So right now, the one way we can fight back is obviously what we're doing with Bud Light. All right. So obviously talking about it. Some people are going to say, yeah, talking about it. Madonna used to say, whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, it's still publicity. But the one thing is 6.65 billion off the cap, the market cap. All right. So in a culture war, we're definitely showing a little bit of something here on the right. And I hate to even say I'm leaning more right than ever, but it's because of what I'm learning from the left. It's crazy. Dads need to protect their daughters. So dads shouldn't let dudes compete against girls. So if you got a high school swim team or a college swim team, I'm a father. I have a 16-year-old daughter. There's no way I'm going to allow that, and I'll be at every meeting. Now, what we see in the blue states is that's where most of, if this happened in a red state, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see it at all. But in the blue states, there's a lot more power behind fighting for the dude that wants to swim against. Think about feminism. All right, women. So some people say women hate men with feminism. It's an ism, right? Air quotes. All right, it's an ism. Any kind of ism is you're trying to fight for something. So let's just say feminism has fought for females to get equality. Okay, good. Treated better, to vote, all that stuff. But now, do you think a feminist wants a man competing against their daughter? No. It's wonky, it's backwards. The real solution is if there's only like point oh, what is it, 0.05% of the 360 million people are transgender, then let let's not force the issue. Let's create a league. Even if it's a statewide or half the state, a north and a south, or an east and a west of a state, where transgenders can all be on the same team and compete against each other. What's wrong with that? A lot of people say there's a lot wrong with that. But there's also some good people that say protect women, especially young women. Especially, how do you think a woman feels about this this Dylan character trying on sports bras for Nike? Are you serious? And do you remember when women would sit there and say, it's not fair that these skinny models get up there, walk the runway? We women don't look like that. But then you got Dylan. And the thing let me just get this right off the bat because I don't want to keep it for too long. If men want to go to a club, dress like women, and then entertain men and women, whether it's skits, song and dance, acting, whatever, put a show on, I think that's amazing. If that same man that does the show wants to become a transgendered person, that's wonderful. But if you have somebody on a can of beer that's going to be, and if you look at, especially I put on all the different platforms, but on Uncle Tito, that's where Dylan has 11 million. How many people do you think are watching that are over 21? So that just tells me right now, Bud Light went towards kids and kids that are trying to be coached into transing. And I have no problem with somebody that, if it's trans dysphoria, that's fine. 18 and under or 21 and under. That should be between the parent, the doctor, and the child. That's fine. Do that. But it shouldn't be, propagated in schools. The teachers' unions are evil. They're totally taken over by the Marxists. That's how they figured out to get us. They could get us generationally by going to the teachers, especially when it was first in colleges. Then it went to high schools. Now, I saw the start of it as my children were going through grade school. I couldn't imagine, my youngest is 16. I couldn't imagine what grade school is like for children right now, especially public. All right. So this thing with Dylan getting the sponsorship, do you see who Dylan markets to? 12 to 18-year-olds. And anything after that is probably men that, want to trans to women. That's fine. Or maybe even women that want to trans to men. That's fine. But the part I have a problem with is that 12 to 17, 12 to 18 gap. Drinking beer. You're now like, I don't even know if Ariana Grande, when she was in Disney, whatever Nickelodeon would ever have been on a beer can. But this is where they're going with it. And the other thing that they're doing, the thing with Budweiser too, is they probably have like a DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. And with these big corporations, the DEI, they come in and they say, here's what we want you to do. Because if you want to do business either, here or internationally, you're going to have to start having more diversity, more equity, more inclusion. And the big corporations are scared. I don't know if some old guy or old lady in Bud Light or in Anheuser-Busch was sitting around saying, I think we need to get Dylan Mulvaney in here to save our company. I think that never happened. I think you had that young VP come on, and you saw her videos. I'm not even going to mention her name. And that's where we're going. So what did they do? They're trying to get us to talk about that while the economy's going to crap, while we're not making our own energy, while the border's open, while 46 is over in Europe making a fool out of himself. But, here's the deal. We don't win many culture wars. So we're now absolutely, for right now, we're winning with Anheuser-Busch. All right? So listen, kiss, hug, love a veteran. Please love a veteran. They're doing it for you. They will do it tomorrow, and they'll keep doing it, and they will die doing it. And what they're doing is they're fighting for your freedom. No matter what you hear, no matter what you think, everybody has a child that goes into the service. Anybody that has a father that goes into the service, they definitely, just like a police officer, fireman, they might not be able to come home. And if that person is home and served our country and needs help, you can definitely find them at Code of Vets, at Code of Vets on Twitter. You look for Gretchen Smith. I'll put a link for her in here down at the bottom for Code of Vets on YouTube. And I love you guys, man. Kiss, love, hug a veteran.